Hey guys, it's Let's Game Ontario 145 final exam, and this game is interesting. It really reminded me of Zombie Ate My Neighbors, but like in 2D form. Um,
Yeah,
but
actually,
it's
you know
got
what?
like
Yeah.
the shading,
I can see
different
that.
shading.
I can see
Kind
that.
of like Left 4 Dead, and a little bit of like Left 4 Dead as well. That's what I
Yeah.
thought. Um, what did you think of this game? Usually you give me an idea during the game, but
Yeah.
I heard you said, oh, this is, this game's a lot better now
There was-
as you get into it. So
Yeah, it took a long time. Like, it was because we had such difficulty
Yeah.
setting the controllers up, and that made me just annoyed with the game.
Yeah.
And then playing that tutorial, they didn't actually say what the buttons were for the controller, just for the mouse and keyboard. And they also didn't tell you that you wouldn't be able to use all the functional buttons until you got to the certain part in the tutorial where you're supposed to do that.
That was
So if you're setting up mapping up a controller, you don't even know.
my fire
What
button's
you
not
have.
working. That's what
Yeah.
I was thinking, like straight away.
Yeah. So that bugged me a bit.
Yeah.
It was a good game. It took a while to get into, like you said there.
You
Yeah.
can really tell that you can't use the keyboard for long periods of time. It's one of those games where, even with like Streets of Rage, when I played it on a keyboard, you button mash, but like it's not too bad. It's not relentless. But this game, because the enemies keep respawning, like zombies, sort of like squid zombie alien things.
Yeah.
Um,
That got annoying.
yeah.
Because I'm more
I
like
felt my hands really cramping up, and that's why sometimes I thought I was sprinting, but I was like lagging behind, and I was here, and you were like way up here on the elevator or stairs. So that kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm
like-
just getting old. Maybe I played too many video games.
I think
Could be that.
no.
And-
I think definitely play with a controller.
Yes,
Keyboard.
you could tell that it was a console-based game
Yeah.
oriented for that, like a
most-
PSN game.
I'd say most games. Oh my god, I'm getting a lot of emails right now.
From the fans.
Yeah. Most games based for computers, like they don't. You know what?
think it's trying to-
I'm just gonna. Turn
Anyways,
off my phone.
I'm just gonna, while he's doing that, the game, it's kind of like, the impression, I didn't read the backstory, but it seems like everyone in the game is someone from a high school, and you're trying to get to the high school or away from the high school, and suddenly you encounter a bunch of zombies. Like, it's a really straightforward plot, from what I can tell from that.
Yeah,
opening cinematic.
yeah.
Like, it doesn't need a complicated plot for
It
this.
didn't have a complicated plot. The characters were kind of really one-dimensional.
Yeah.
I gotta say it was fun once you slowly get into the gameplay. The cinematics were what really made it interesting, but the first whole half of the level and the tutorial level were just so boring that
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Once you get past the tutorial and the first level, it's interesting how they split it up by areas, and the areas are pretty big. And we didn't even finish the first mission. Like
no.
that, and we'd been playing for what, an hour and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty big, and there's 8 sort of missions.
There
to
were
go
9.
through.
I think there was nine
Or I
missions.
thought I saw 8.
8 or 9, whatever it is.
But it kind of plays a little bit like Contra meets a zombie game, and you can aim precisely with the mouse where you want to throw your grenades, which I think is a cool feature, but I don't think it should be shoved into the game. It's sort of like with
They did have what's the word I'm looking for?
a mouse fetish.
No. No.
That pointer was always there. I was
It
like,
was annoying.
yeah, it's like, yeah. I think that's just. I don't want to be cranky, but to me, that's poor level design or game design. I mean, just to have like.
Well, I think it
That
was
not
trying to be
optional?
a shooter and a fighter at the same time.
Yeah.
And I don't think it works as both.
Didn't.
As a fighter, it was fun. I think they should have focused on more of the fighting
like a beat 'em up
capabilities.
brawling. Yeah. Because tried to
And-
do both, a shooter brawler.
And shoot, like as a shooter, they could have just had it as a one button push, where it's like auto aim or something like that, and it'd be more like of a side
Yeah,
weapon,
I
not
think
as
it
the
makes
main.
more sense for you when you have the machine gun. You just shoot. If you're facing that direction, you shoot there. You
Yeah.
shouldn't have to like with your machine gun go from your controller. I don't even know how that works on the controller, but with the
Oh,
the
but you
aiming
point
tool
with
and
the one stick and then you just shoot.
oh, one stick aims.
Yeah.
Oh, that drives me crazy when that happens. When
I don't mind that, but
I never got into that sort of control
this
scheme.
the gameplay that comes with this
It's fun,
game
though,
I don't think it works with the shooting.
Yeah.
With the shooting and the guns, I don't think it's necessary.
Have a
The NRA doesn't like me.
But that's one thing. Like they were trying to do a big zombie, bloodfest, beat 'em up, and the the camera zooms out, which is cool. But you didn't like the fact we were on a smaller screen, like a 15-inch.
If you're playing it, I'd say go on at least a 32 or
it
30.
reads, a living room screen.
A living room screen.
The characters
don't do it on a 22-inch.
It's hard to sort of see the enemies too. I found like they sort of camouflage your character. So for a second there, you were off in the corner. I'm like, oh, where am I? And then I realized like I was on the other side. Just stuff like that, or I like it as a game, but I wouldn't say it's a classic. I wouldn't say it's like a Contra game where I'm going to be playing it in like 5-10 years. I think it's a fun game if you invite some friends over, some beers, just as a distraction, but it wasn't crappy enough that I would say only if you're desperate. I'd say like a 6 or a 7, I was thinking. But it's well done.
What rating? A rating?
Yeah, just overall, I think it was cool, but it wasn't... Like the characters, as you said, they were two-dimensional. They didn't really have like an attitude. They didn't have like a catchphrase or anything.
They were very one-dimensional, not two-dimensional. One-dimensional, and they're just very boring characters. They had they looked aesthetically cool.
Yeah,
they
that's
had cool
what
designs, but
there wasn't. What really annoyed me was when I first went up. Okay, this is one thing that I really. Talk about game design, I really didn't like how you had to jump up a ladder and then push up. And then if you want to go down, you just push down, which is, I guess, sort of okay.
I actually
it's a lot of
I had to, I'd press A to jump.
Yeah.
Or I'd press B to grab onto the ladder. And then what I'd do is I'd end up just pressing A and then B and then A and B and A and B and pulling up because I just want to get up the ladder faster. Because it's a fast-paced game, but then when you go up ladders and down ladders, it's so slow. It's like it takes you out of the fast-paced
every
atmosphere.
time you get chopped up, your attention gets chopped up, and I think that kills the immersion.
Every time you get chopped up. Every time
I got chopped up so bad. But in that game, I kept dying. In the end, he saved the day, so to get us to the next stage. It was all him.
It's all me. All the time. It's all me.
It's all you. It's all you. Anyways, I don't know. The pasta. Anyways.
Okay, Mario.
Use some tomato sauce. But there was that combined with the fact that when you go up a ladder, you can't hit them, but they can hit you.
Yeah.
And the first few times I discovered this, I kept getting knocked down and I would fall down the ladder.
That was annoying.
Yeah, and
that's why I was jumping up and pressing, because if you jump up, they can't hurt you.
Yeah, that's what I noticed you doing, and I was sort of doing that sometimes.
Yeah,
but
it's a lot easier on a controller than it is on a keyboard.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
but that was another design that I just cannot see. Like, there's a reason why Double Dragon, classic game, you just push up to go up a ladder, and if you get kicked, it's your own fault. You know, if that girl with a whip whips you when you're walking up the,
or if you get punched in the face by a tranny, and then, it's your.
You don't know in that game because the NES port, the graphics are nowhere near as good as like the arcade ones. So yeah. I
have Double Dragon 3 on my Nintendo.
Yes, I love that game, but oh my gosh, I got through most of it without cheating, but the last mission or so, oh my gosh. But anyways, I think this is a cool game, but like it misses that zing that sort of makes it from like a cool game to a game I'm gonna keep playing. Like, that's what I personally think. I think everything's well done. The controls, game design's a little bit off because of the ladder that we covered. Having a switch, like, it's cool that they have all those items, but I found like when I was getting beaten up when I was trying to get health and I was already like almost dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I would randomly throw grenades at you too.
If,
Across the way.
if I was to rate this game, I'd probably give it like a, I don't know, 1 to 5. I'd probably give it like a 2.
Yeah,
Like, I
I would
wouldn't-
give it a pass, but
I wouldn't
with a
really
caution. You know, you might not like this because we just got swarmed near the end of
play it. Yeah, but there is an
like,
upgrade
1
system.
whatever.
There's
6.
an upgrade system.
Yeah, so do you
And
keep
I
it
think-
from after you die? I
Yeah,
guess so.
yeah.
Well, see, that's
So
not so bad,
I think
but-
if you upgrade enough, it might be fun because with all the other combos, you didn't actually upgrade anything.
No,
for the
I
last
was like,
level.
let's keep going.
And because I wanted to see, 'cause,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, I wanted to explore the game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
It reminds me of Final Fantasy X, how they did I don't remember the system, but it's like gemstones, and you sort of add the gemstone, and then from there you can upgrade this part. And if you go that way, like it gives you a.
oh yes,
Yeah, I don't remember what the system was
I didn't
called,
like
but
that. That was
I was
annoying
cool
system.
with it. I mean, I heard,
Like,
from what I remember, number 12 was worse.
well, because
I remember,
because
but-
if you mess up
12.
on if you don't go the right way on the path,
Yeah,
you
can
could
get
really screw
everything or
yourself.
something. Yeah.
you can screw yourself
That's what
over
I
in a game.
remember.
And that's what I don't like about the Final Fantasy games in a whole is
Yeah.
because you have to strategize so much that you actually have to set a direct path if you want to get everything,
Mhm.
and then it kind of ruins it because it's a linear gameplay. You only go through one story every time. So for me, it's like, what's the point in going through an entire game again to do everything right? You know, it's I don't know.
Yeah, unless you're like super obsessed, like the guy I knew that played Skyrim
If you got a
for
lot of
300
time,
hours,
if you got a lot of
did
time on
every
your
single
hands.
branch of Skyrim.
I can see kids doing this, but I mean, adults, they don't really got a lot of time, so.
Yeah, it's kind of like a semi-casual game. I don't think it's a game that someone that's not into video games would just pick up and play. Like it's not like Smash Brothers.
We're talking about Final Exam again, right?
Sorry, I was going back to Final Exam. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in between. It's not really a casual game, but
I'd say it's like just, semi-casual, casual
Yeah.
for gamers. Like casual
again,
gamers.
I think this is like living in a dangerous, lovers in a dangerous space-time. It's if you don't have all, 3 or 4 players playing, it's a very different experience, and that's why, like, I kept throwing grenades at you,
Yeah.
just because. But
Yeah, no.
it's one of those, it's one of those games that I think you could play it more like a party game with more people,
Yeah.
like just different atmosphere.
If you get more people.
Yeah,
Play it.
exactly. Get on the screen.
Yeah.
You can just connect HDMI to from the computer, and yeah. So
Should do it at my house next time.
there we go.
Alrighty.
Beers and bats and zombies. Anything else? I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I had. That was all the thoughts I had for this.
Yeah. The cult, that's all I have to say about it.
Looks great. Just the controls had some issues. Sort of grindy. More grindy than, I guess, like smooth, sort of. Yeah. It's a little bit on the choring side, I guess, if that's not even a word. It feels like a chore a little bit, this game, I just found.
I think this
Dude,
review is
just
dragging
seeing
on
just
now.
seeing the guts flying was cool at first, and then after a while it's like, oh, I gotta backtrack back. I don't know. That's how I felt.
This review is dragging on just like the game dragged on.
Yes. Because he wants to play Doom, that's why.
That's probably why.
Yes.
I want to play some Doom.
He wants to see some real blood and guts.
I want to see a real
Real gore.
game. I want to see a real game.
You want to see some real crazy zombie
And nostalgia.
demon stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up here, and we'll see you next week. LGO 146. All right. Keep on gaming. Ciao.
Peace.
Peace, brother.